From Tampa Bay's #1 news station, this is the Fox 13 4 o'clock news.
Now that the holidays are over, it's time to assess the damage to your credit card bills. The average American household's credit card debt has recently soared, with the average family now having more than $8,200 in credit card debt. And many of those families are struggling to keep up with all the bills. Hard to pay just that $8,200 just like that. Attorney Jim Giardina with the Consumer Rights Law Group joins us. So what happens if someone just stops paying their credit card bills because they don't have the money?
Well, you know, when you stop paying, there's really only so many things that the banks can do, right? And I put them into 3 categories.
Okay.
The things that are easy for the bank to do, the things that are hard for the bank to do, and the things that are shady but the banks do anyway.
Oh,
now,
boy.
the easy, there's 3 things. They can call you on the phone, they can send you letters, and they can ding your credit. Now, when they ding your credit, you've got to be 30 days past due. So if you're just a day or 2, even 3 weeks past due, nothing can happen to your credit. Now, you're still probably going to get the phone calls and the letters. Now, the shady things that banks do, now this is if you have a credit card at the same bank where you have your checking account or your auto loan. Now, the banks, they're going to sell it to you, they're going to call it relationship banking, right?
Right.
Real good for the banks. But what it means is that if you don't pay your credit card bill, the bank can take that money out of your checking account without going to a judge, without going to court. Yes, and something else they do, this is called the cross-collateralization agreement. It's a little tiny bit of language in the fine print. No, nobody ever reads it. But what it says is, if you don't pay your bill and you have an auto loan with us, even if your auto loan is almost paid off, if you don't pay your credit card bill, we're going to stick that money on top of your auto loan, and you're not going to get the title to your car till you pay off your credit card. Now, then there's the hard stuff. They can take you to court. They can try to garnish your wages, lien your property, and maybe execute on your personal property.
All right, so is there any protection? Let's say maybe you've been laid off or you have a medical emergency and you're not paying because of a life-changing...
We know those are great questions, but the law is very clear that those are not defenses to owing the money, right? And here in Hillsborough County, we've got some of the best lawyers, some of the best judges in the country, and every one of them will tell you that, you know, having lost your job or having gone to the hospital is not a legal defense to not having to pay back your credit cards. However, you know, some credit cards, they come automatically with credit card insurance. Sometimes it's a product that you buy, and that'll cover you in case of those emergencies.
Okay, so how long does it usually take a credit card company to sue for
You
debt?
know, it runs the gamut. I've been doing this for, I don't know, 15 years, decades really, and I've done thousands of cases. The soonest I've seen any credit card company sue is probably about 45 days from the last payment. They do it quick.
Wow.
That's with a high balance. You've got somebody high risk. The longest I've seen some mistakes where it takes over 5 years for them to sue. Generally speaking, I'd say the average is probably about 6 months.
So what should you do if you're faced with a lawsuit? I'm sure panic is not.
Oh yeah, you know,
the first thing.
The first thing you want to do is read the paperwork and take a deep breath. Don't panic. There is help if you need help, and you don't have to have help if you don't want help.
In other words, you mean a lawyer?
Sure,
you can hire a lawyer
absolutely
or not.
right.
Okay.
So you know, with any case, at any given time, you've got 3 options. You can fight, you can do nothing, or you can settle. And that's at any point in any case. A murder case, a credit card case, anything.
And a settlement might be, I have this amount of money, will you settle for that?
Yes, absolutely. Now, if you want to fight, there's lots of there's defenses that a regular person knows. You've got the wrong Joe Smith. You never sent the bills. I sent you $1,000 and you only credited me $100. And then there's other defenses that maybe only a consumer lawyer might know. Things like statute of limitations, or, you know, reading the fine print of the contract, maybe certain civil procedure rules, right?
All right,
But
quickly before we go,
sure.
When should someone consider bankruptcy? Because I'm getting the rap.
Man, you want to do bankruptcy? I would say 1% of people with credit card debt want to do bankruptcy. If you've got business debt or you've got a lot of problems, then maybe you want to consider bankruptcy, but not just for credit cards.
Perfect. Jim, good advice as
My
usual.
pleasure.
Thank you.